Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy and today we're going to be talking about 3 reasons why I left my top 1% Etsy shop. So if you are brand new to this channel, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button so you can make sure to get all the updates as soon as we post brand new videos. Okay, let's get into it. So I have 3 reasons why I left my top 1% ranking Etsy shop. Now there are so many Etsy shops and I actually did have a 6-figure top 1% Etsy store. It was very successful. And it's true, I actually did have a top 1% Etsy shop. Now I made orders regularly every day and I made hundreds of thousands on the Etsy platform. So what in my right mind would make me leave? Something even better. But first, let's talk about the reasons why I actually left. First, control. I didn't like the fact that Etsy basically owned me. They controlled everything from how my shop looked to the attributes that I could add. I'm a creative and I don't like being boxed in. I'm sure if you are on Etsy as well and you're creative like me, that this probably irritates you too. I wanted more options for my customers than Etsy could give. Now, not to mention, if something happens and if you break their rules, Etsy can actually shut down your shop. This happened to a friend of mine who had a major trauma in her life and she had outstanding orders at the time and customers complained and her shop was just poof, gone. It was erased and her shop didn't exist anymore. This really, really bothered me. Number 2, let's talk about those fees, the Etsy fees. They seem to get higher and higher all the time. They never seem to decrease, and it seems like every year or so they actually tack on more fees. And I think now they have something with the ads and things like that. I think that they're charging for that depending on how much money you make or how many orders you have per year. So at the end of my career as Amanda of Amanda's Designer Decals, which was my shop, I was at a point where my profit was equal to that of my wholesale deal with Wayfair. I was a wholesale seller with Wayfair, and it was easy to compare numbers at that time. And when we really started looking at those numbers and broke them down, I wasn't making any more on Etsy than I was on Wayfair selling as a wholesaler. And then on top of that, I was already paying hundreds in ads per month with Etsy as well. So really, it was a numbers game for me. At that time, I had updated pricing, and the first time I did that, I didn't really have enough of a following where people would actually notice that price hike. But the second time that it happened, which was within the last 18 months, I had enough people who were following my shop and on my email list that they would actually notice if I raised my prices. I've had to do that a couple times throughout the 8 to 10 years that I owned Amanda's Designer Decals because of UPS and USPS shipping prices. But when Etsy really started hiking up the fees, I really had to weigh whether or not it was worth raising the prices. And I'm sure that a lot of you have probably experienced the same thing. Number 3 is the changing algorithm. It sometimes feels like Etsy changes the algorithm all the time. Now, they also do testing all of the time, and it's hard to differentiate when it's just a test versus when they're actually updating the algorithm. Now, SEO is my thing. I have my own SEO agency, which is called Nersy, obviously. But it felt like this game that I was constantly trying to keep up with. Now, before Etsy changed CEOs, I was on page 1 for most of the keywords that I wanted to rank for and the big ones in my industry. And that's really what made me a top 1% seller. That and, of course, having really good products that people want to buy. But in 2015, Etsy decided to change things up in a major way. The new system booted me off all the first pages that I had and put shops on page 1 that barely had any sales. Now, I'm sure if some of you were around Etsy in that time, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I thought it was going to tank my business. My sales dried up, and honestly, I was really angry about it. But then opportunity came knocking. We'll get to part 2 of this in the next video. But first, if you would like to join my free Facebook group where we talk all about SEO and Google and sometimes even Etsy, then I'm going to leave the link down below, or you can search on Facebook for the group Nerzy, N-E-R-Z-Y. That's all I have for you guys today in this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Happy SEO, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.